The issue of insecurity may not be peculiar to Nigeria, but it has assumed proportion in which citizens are hardly taken by much surprise at kidnapping and ritual killings. Communities are creating all forms of security outfits to keep their environment safe at night and during the day. Those who cannot afford private guards are left helplessly to their fate. Security expert Frank Oyorhigho believes that if we must make headway in the fight against insecurity in Nigeria, background checks must be central to security policy making.
Background check is a form of intelligence gathering. So when you gather intelligence, it gives you a heads up on what to do as far as an issue is concerned. And background check, apart from gathering information, also gives you an opportunity to know the people around you, an opportunity for the people who are in power to be conscious, people who are in authority to be conscious, people in the environment to be conscious. We talk of security all the time, but most of the times when we talk of security, what people think about is the guns and the bombs. But that is not it. If every man on the street in our neighborhood takes that consciousness to know who their neighbors are, it's part of security consciousness. Come to terrorism, for instance. The people that enter our country, the people that perpetrate this terrorism, are they Nigerians? And if they are Nigerians, where do they live? What is their dossier? When were they born? What are their parents? And if they are not Nigerians, what are their identities? All these are information gathering, and these are background check functions. So that is why every facet of our life, background check has become so relevant that we can't throw it to the background anymore. But every day when you look at the government reaction and response to background check, then you realize that even the government is not even comfortable, because with the POI bill and background check in place, a lot of them will not be in the position they are today, because there is always one skeleton or the other in their cupboard. So background check will always bring that out. So you see that it cut across all facets of our lives. And if you and I are conscious of it, now when we say background check, does not necessarily mean, okay, everybody must go to Primex to go and to request for background check. No, but the consciousness that you must verify the things that you are told before you take action is all part of background check. Somebody comes to you and say he does X, Y, Z. The consciousness to verify that information before you take the next step is all background check. People come to your neighborhood, you don't know them before. If you have that consciousness of background check, the next thing is to report to the police. The next thing is to report to the CDA executive that there's somebody strange in this area. But because that consciousness is not there, we just see people and then we walk past them. We can even greet them and then off we go. So it is this consciousness that we want government to spearhead. And once they are able to do that, the awareness will come to play and the people will begin to make use of it. And once they start making use of it, this issue of terrorism, criminality, armed robbery, we are not saying it will reduce, it will stop it completely, no, but it is going to help a great deal in ensuring that solutions are arrived at. They've started with the immigration. Now you want to collect your passport, you will show you the e-passport. That's a good step. Now let them also move that to National Population Commission. Let them move that to the road safety. Let them move that to the banks. Everywhere you have your information, let them move it to those places, even in the hospital. Now, because they said every Nigerian should register. Now, if that was done by the federal government, like what Lagos State government was doing at a point at the LASTRA was a good objective in ensuring to know the number of people that live in Lagos. If that is domiciled in all the states, and then all the information gathered during this process are also domiciled at the federal level, sponsored or pioneered by the federal level, so that by the time you have your national identity number, anywhere you go, you quote that number. And once you quote that number, every of your information will come out. So if you're in Lagos State, you have registered with Lastra, all this data will be with Lastra, and the federal government is also having it's copied, as it were. So when you go to any institution in Lagos State and you quote your national identity number, it goes around the system. So that's why I said the will to do it is not something that you can do with a snap of the finger, but it has to start from somewhere. It can take 10 years, it can take 20 years, it can take 30 years. But like they say, a journey of 1,000 miles starts with a single step. And the step that the government has taken when it comes to getting a national passport and then having your national identity number is the right step. But they should move faster and they should move faster than that, and also ensure that that goes to every other government institution. Number one is going to address it in the sense that nobody comes into Nigeria without being identified. Number two, no Nigerian will be in this Nigeria without an identity. And then number three is going to arouse that consciousness of being truthful about information concerning the individuals. I cannot go to primary school, quote an age, go to secondary school, quote another age, and because I want to serve in NYSC, I reduce my age. And by the time I want to go to the House of Assembly or whatever, I reduce my age again because they said it has an age limit. By the time it becomes a national policy, then repercussion will follow. So if you are found to have falsified any of your information, there'll be a punishment. And now let me give you an example. I know it's final, but this is very, very, very key. If there's a national policy on background check, it means that every owner of a house will know who lives in their houses. And if you know who live in your houses, you have an idea of the kind of job they do. So that means that every owner of the house or every CDA or every local government have information of all the people in that CDA domiciled in the place. So when visitors come, for one reason or the other, or there's a crime, and the person is probably apprehended, you check around, you check the whole system, the person's name is not there, then you know that this one is the mercenary. And once that is bust, first time, second time, third time, it becomes a practice. Criminals will learn to keep away from the society. So it's like I said, it's not something that we'll achieve in 1 year or 2 years or 3 years or 4 years, but it is a process, and it's a lifetime process. But that seriousness and consciousness must be there.